Hello everyone. This is another culture swap event. And this time our main topic is cultural sites, cultural attractions in your own country. And we are very lucky that Tallinn Central Library has two Croatian librarians visiting us, and they have kindly and willingly agreed to show us some sites in their home country, and then also talk about a little about the history. And of course, we'll see beautiful photos of Croatia. So they will start, and then everyone else will continue.
Yes, and also I want to introduce ourselves. We're Tina and Janika from Tallinn Central Library, and those of you that haven't joined the culture swap events before, then welcome.
And this is the first time we were meeting face to face, so I'm sorry in advance if there are any technical difficulties. We met on Zoom before, and this time it's a hybrid event, so people might be joining us also on Zoom. And there's also an audience that you cannot see, and we will bring the microphone to them if it's their turn to talk, share something about their own country, and we look forward to it. Okay, let's get started. Now I'll pass the microphone on. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marina. This is Alexandra. We are from Croatia, and we have singled out some cultural sites in Croatia that may be interesting to you and that are most popular to visit. So here are some basic information about our country, so you can imagine. Croatia is a Central European and Mediterranean country on the coast of the Adriatic Sea. The population of the country is nearly 3.9 million. Our official language is Croatian, of course, and our climate is interesting because the Adriatic coast has Mediterranean climate, so it means warm summers, and it's the most sunniest coastline, one of the most sunniest coastlines in Europe, and the inland of the country has a continental climate. So we have singled out, as I said, the most visited places, but here are some maybe interesting and fun facts about Croatia that you may be less familiar with. The popular series Game of Thrones, maybe you didn't know, was partially filmed in the old town of Dubrovnik, which has the most preserved fortification system in Europe. Also interesting fact is that one of the most famous writer of 20th century, James Joyce, lived in town of Pula. And another interesting fact is that the famous inventor Nikola Tesla was born in Croatia, and we have to say that he went to school in our hometown. Yes. So Croatia has many islands, 1,246 islands, but only 50 of them are populated. So we have to say something about our main capital city. It's the name of the city is Zagreb, with the history that dates back to the year 1094. The city, of course, has a lot of historic landmarks, interesting sites, museums, hotels, restaurants, but it's divided into two parts. Upper town, it's interesting to visit, that contains a presidential palace, the Croatian parliament, and the most visited spot, it's iconic St. Mark's Church. It's here on the little picture. It's specific because it has uniquely colorful tiled roof. Okay, so the next slide. This is our, we had to say something about our town, our birth town. This is Karlovac. Karlovac was formed in the year 1579. It is specific in many ways because it's the it's unique for its shape. It is shaped in the six-pointed star, the old part of the time. It's shaped in the six-pointed star that represents an ideal Renaissance city, and only two more cities in Europe or the world has the same shape, and one of them is Palma Nova in Italy, and the other one is Novi Zamki in Slovakia. So that's one of the interesting things about our city. Also interesting that it, I'm not finished. Another thing, it's interesting that it lies on the banks of 4 rivers, and it's also specific because one of the rivers goes through the center of the city, and it's the only river. It's the only river in the country that has a registered beach area, so we can all go for a swim in the city center. So now you can change the slide. Yes, this is some main sites. We have singled out some main sites in one part of the country, Istria. Istria is a peninsula. It has a strong Italian influence because the region was part of the Italy during the beginning of the 20th century, and it also was the part of the Roman Empire. So it's very interesting to visit. We have singled out town of Poreč. It's the most popular place in Istria to visit. And the history of Poreč extends far back to prehistoric times. But the most popular place to visit is this, you can see it on the picture, is the 6th century Euphrasian Basilica, because it's very wonderfully preserved, and it's known for its beautiful gold mosaics. And this beautiful monument of early Byzantine architecture is also UNESCO World Heritage on the World Heritage list. So the next town we singled out is Pula. Pula is hometown to Arena, a very well preserved Roman amphitheater. It's the 6th largest in the world. The famous arena that once served for gladiators' fights today is the venue for many concerts, events, and famous Pula Film Festival. When you visit Pula, we suggest you visit the Brioni Islands. The Brioni Islands are one of our 8 beautiful national parks. It's only a little time by boat, 10 minutes. So we couldn't mention our little town called Motovun. Motovun is in the countryside of Istria, and it's one of the prettiest hilltop towns in the region. And here you can find 26 protected cultural monuments in the old part of the town, and the earliest preserved walls of Motovun date back to 11th and 12th century. So we are moving on to a new area. It's Dalmatia. Dalmatia has a very wonderful and beautiful historic sites, but we have pointed out some of them. So Zadar is the most famous for its old town. It is also, the old town is also set in peninsula, which is very interesting. And you will find here one of the most beautiful monuments of architecture and culture. But when you visit Zadar, we suggest you visit the Church of Saint Donuts, because it was built in the 9th century, and the church is the largest pre-Romanesque building in Croatia. Next little town we singled out is Šibenik. It is unique amongst the Croatian Adriatic towns, but we suggest you visit this beautiful cathedral, the Cathedral of St. James, which is it's also in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's it's one of the most significant and most beautiful architectural achievements in Croatia. It was built during the 15th and 16th century, and it's unique for it's entirely built of stone. And of course, we must mention Trogir. It's also in the UNESCO World Heritage List as an example of well-preserved Romanesque island town. Walking through the streets of Trogir is like a journey to the past in the time of Greeks, Romans, and Venetians. Thank you. Another beautiful place to visit is Split, and it's Diocletian's Palace. Because it's one of the best preserved monuments of the Roman architecture in the world. It was built around the year 300 by the Roman Emperor Diocletian, and today the remains of the place are a part of the history city of Split, a major tourist center and the second largest city in Croatia. And at the end, we have the old town of Dubrovnik, also a World Heritage in the list, yes. It's the most famous Croatian tourist town, mostly because of its architecture and famous Dubrovnik walls. The walls were built during 13th to 17th century for defense purposes. I will give my word to Alexandra so she can continue.
Now I'll tell you something about Croatian Islands. As Marina mentioned before, we have more than 1,000 islands, exactly 780 islands, 389 islets, and 78 reefs. And we also have pointed out some interesting ones, like Island Brač. It's popular for one of the most beautiful beaches of the Mediterranean called Golden Horn, in Croatian Zlatni Rat. The curiosity about this beach is that it changes its shape and position depending on the wind and tide. And Brač is also famous for the main export from ancient times, from the famous Brač stone. And from this stone, many famous buildings in the world have been built, like including the White House in Washington, D.C. Then we have island of Pag. In recent years, Pag has become an increasingly popular island to visit because of the resort of Novalja, and it's considered one of the Croatia's premier party destinations. So there is plenty more on the island besides clubbing the night away. So the Pag town is also a popular resort. And the island is also very famous for its lace making, as you can see in the picture. And the local cheese called Paški sir, it means Pag cheese, and it's made from sheep's milk. And there is another one called Korčula Island. And Old Town Korčula is one of the best examples of a fortified medieval town in the Mediterranean Sea, and it's listed at UNESCO tentative list. The most famous is the Gothic Renaissance Cathedral of St. Mark, and the town hall and the massive town fortifications. The world's greatest 13th century traveler, Marco Polo, he was a native of Korčula. He opened the door of the Far East to Europe. And now we'll talk a little bit about the national parks in Croatia. We also pointed out some interesting ones, like the Plitvice Lakes National Park, the most visited one, and the most popular tourist attraction. And it has a UNESCO World Heritage status. And the beauty of the Plitvice lakes lies in the 16 lakes interconnected by series of waterfalls, as you can see at the picture, filled with the crystal blue green water and set in the deep woodland. That's, as I said, the oldest and most visited Croatian national park. The second one is Krka National Park. It's named after the Krka River. And the top attraction of this park is the magnificent waterfalls, including the famous Skradinski bookfall. That's also on the picture here. And there are no less than 8 gorgeous national parks in Croatia, which range from tranquil group of islands to mountainous landscapes and famous lakes and waterfalls. We'll talk about a little bit about museums. We also pointed some interesting ones like Neanderthal Museum in the town of Krapina. And this is one of the Europe's most significant archaeological sites, where no fewer than 900 human bones were found and discovered in the cave of Krapina in 1899. And it's one of the greatest paleontological and archaeological museums in this corner of Europe. Then we have a Vučedol Cultural Museum, and it's based in the town of Vukovar, which was damaged in the last Croatian Independence War. And Vučedol Culture Museum was established in 2013 as a national museum. And it's one of the most significant archaeological sites in Europe. And then we have a Karlovac Freshwater Aquarium, Aquatica, on the banks of the Korana River in Karlovac, our hometown, as we mentioned before. And the primary purpose is to educate visitors to how the exceptional natural wealth of Croatia can be used in the function of sustainable tourism. Aquatica is a unique freshwater aquarium in Europe and provides visitors with a unique experience of underwater world that we seem to know well, but still have so much more to learn. And there is another one, Proximinus Museum at island of Lošinj, and it's settled in the town of Mali Lošinj. And this museum is opened in the spring of 2016, and it's dedicated to the ancient Greek statue of Proximinus. And it represents a Greek athlete, and it's more than 2,000 years old. And it's actually being accidentally discovered by off the coast of the island of Lošinj by the Belgian tourist in the 1999. This statue has been exhibited in Zagreb, London, Florence, Paris, and Los Angeles, and now is settled back at the Museum of Lošinj. From now, if you have some questions, please feel free to ask us.
So thank you so much for the interesting review of your cultural places and museums. Thank you. And
I think we had some people who joined later, so I'll just explain again that we have 2 librarians visiting from Croatia. So they prepared a proper presentation, but everyone who's in the audience or joining us on Zoom, they can just tell them a place from their country and we will look it up ourselves and just show it on the screen. So don't worry if you don't have a presentation like this. This was excellent. I will ask a question. What are your favorite places?
The old part of the old city of Dubrovnik. It's as I said, it's a very beautiful place to visit. And the island of Lokrum, which has the botanical garden, and it's beautiful to swim and be there. And walking through the city walls is the beautiful experience. and also going to with the cable car to the hill of the Surge and seeing the whole city from above.
And my favorite place in Croatia is the island of Vis. It's like 2.5 hours with the ferry from the city of Split, as Marina mentioned. It's the small island and has a beautiful beach called Erineva. And you'll see at the picture, this one. It's very beautiful beach. It's hard to get there. It's the best way to get there by the boat. But you can also walk there, but you have to climb the hill. And it's very warm in the summer, so it's not to recommend.
So thank you. Does anyone else has the courage to tell us about the places that are favorites in your place? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you first for the presentation. I would like to talk about some places that I've visited myself. I'm Ahmed and I'm from Egypt. So there are some out of the beaten path places in Egypt that people don't normally hear about in the news or in the TV. And probably the first place that I would recommend is Siwa Oasis. So this is the Siwa Oasis. It's a very beautiful place in nature. It has a very salty water for meditation and for medical purposes. People go there to enjoy the nature and to live in a very environmental friendly lifestyle, like to feel like the vibes of the past. And actually, this place is known to have the most expensive hotel in the world because of this, because it's giving the best experience, but in a very rudimentary, like no luxurious lifestyle at all. It's just very nature based. Yeah, the second place is going to be Halab and Shalatin, or the Elba Mountain. This is a place that is actually on the border between Egypt and Sudan. People there are the local tribes there. They don't speak the language that I speak, which is Arabic. So the people there are actually have very interesting culture. They live in a very interesting lifestyle, as you can see in the photo here. In this photo, this is actually a dance. So people there, and the way they dance is that they have a stick or sometimes a sword, and they have to shake the sword. So, you know, like the sword, it has to be like, it's straight and it's metal. And if the man is strong enough to shake it, that means that he proved his strength. So they keep doing this in circles, and this they do it like a competition. And yeah, the place, as you can see in the first photo, is actually the nature itself. Isn't the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Egypt, right? You think of like desert, right, and stuff. And sure. So, but this place, because it's like Egypt is across a lot of different natural geographies. You can see that here the type of nature is actually savanna type of nature that you can find in Africa, like in just we don't have the elephants here, but yeah. Sure, like this place is actually very recommended, very interesting, and I would recommend to go there from the time of March until late summer to see these very beautiful colors. Of course, now I will talk a little bit about my hometown, the pyramids, right? Giza. This pyramids of Giza. Well, I don't have a lot to say here because everyone knows about the pyramids of Giza. A very old history, a very historical place. And the one interesting thing that I can say is that it's actually like 20 minutes away from my home. So if you just happen to be there, just let me know. I will take you on a tour. Yeah. So that's all from my side.
Thank you so much. So can anyone else share, perhaps from the audience?
Yeah.
You? Yeah, you can. Okay.
I'm from Lithuania. I'm from Kaunas, but I want to tell about an amazing place. What right now it's okay, Kaunas. Okay, tell about Kaunas. It's just a second biggest city in the Lithuania. A long time ago, it was capital for a while, but right now Vilnius, its capital. You can see in third photo Žalgiris Arena. My home is actually quite close. It's this is amazing place where its concerts are. You can go in almost every day there is some event, and nearly all Žalgiris Arena is in island, small island, but usually I go with bikini, get a tan in there, and there I meet with my husband, Estonian. In fourth photo, you see church. It's just church. It's a very, very nice church. And this is in downstairs more. Yes. This fifth. This fifth. Yes. This photo, it's just amazing old town, and you can see this bridge from Nemanja's Island to Old Town, and from Nemanja's Island you can see this amazing view. When, for example, when I get the tan, this view, it's what I see, you know. Just it's not like usual. People in Nemanja's Island like to do picnic or just photo sessions because of this amazing view. You can see all Kaunas from there. Yes, and I want to show this place. It's Kryžių kalnas. Right now, this amazing place is on fire already. It's already destroyed. It's nature destroyed, not somebody come and fire. And it's happened last week, and my heart get broke because of that. But Lithuania, it's very religious country, and we're gonna build it again. Yes, I hope so. And the thing is that in that place, when I was child, I saw a lot of soul. So I was that person, that child who can see that people, especially in that place. It's magic place. When we're gonna rebuild it, please come. And that's it.
Thank you so much. And it's really, really sad to hear that it happened. I have been there. It's a really beautiful place. So.
Yep. So hi, name's Richard. Thank you for sharing your awesome places. It's nice to see that I've been to most of them. Just lucky, I guess. Yeah, I'll raise you this Estonian place called Rummu Karjäär. This is a place, quarry, limestone quarry, which was opened in the 1930s. Right after that, during the Soviet occupation, it was open as a prison. So prison workers would actually work there. And it was closed just in 2012. So since then, people can pretty much go there to swim, to scuba dive, just hike. And actually, a few years back, there was this festival, which the Swedish organizers held, called Into the Valley. Was there? It was pretty interesting, pretty tense. Yep, the water is pretty cold, so just take that into account. And yeah, definitely recommend you go there. It's actually a place where Rammstein, the band, had their music video filmed a year or two back. So just fun facts. You can actually show, if you can find up on Wikipedia something, there are some cool pictures with people on boats on them. The water is crystal clear, so you can pretty much see everything that's beneath the water. I think yep, scroll just down. Yep, pretty much you can rent a boat or some attractions there, and some guides will show you the awesome place of Rummu. Anyone else?
Okay. So I haven't been there yet, but I know that this is a very specific place. It's called Hınalık, but I can spell it for you if you want. It's Xinaliq. Yes, this is one. I think it's like the highest village in Azerbaijan, and these people are very specific because of the language they speak. Like this is not Azerbaijani language. This is special, like their special language. I don't know that. And they like locate is like very, very high in the mountains, and there like very few of them are left. Yeah, that's the and in the winter that looks like very, very beautiful because all of the snow. Yeah, I haven't seen this much snow before coming here, but yeah, in my country it's only like on the mountains, but here like you can see it in the city too. And the other one is also, it's also small village. It's called Laza, Laza. Actually, there are two Lazas, but this is also like a small village in the mountains, which is very beautiful. And then the one that's in Gusar city, there is a waterfall which is frozen in the winter, and it's very beautiful. And our people like it for in what's the word, like the indoor tourism, they call it, like for local people, they go there usually. Maybe if you like Lazar waterfall, maybe they will find it. I don't know. I have never searched it in Google, but yeah, that's the one. But in winter, it's frozen. Yeah, and it also looks beautiful.
Thank you so much for that. We also have Valastejuka waterfall that freezes up in the winter in Estonia, and it's also very beautiful. There are stairs and you can walk down them. And Keila too, but this one is the highest, and it freezes up really beautifully in the winter.
If we go a little bit outside of Tallinn, then there's the Ottawa Center. He's a world-renowned Estonian composer, and this is a cultural center built in, it's on a coastline, and it's also inside a forest, and there's little blueberry bushes all around the center, and the composer actually lives basically in the neighboring house. So what you see on the right there, that is the library. And he's often seen there composing or walking through. And in the second picture, you see the outline of the house. And from the tour, I remember they said the architects really tried to emulate what sheet music would look like. So it would look like notes a little bit. And also the bottom photos, you can see how organic everything looks, and it fits in with the forest. They try to keep the greenery that you can see through the glass. And of course, there's a huge concert hall with great acoustics. So that is something to visit outside of Tallinn. If you're only in Tallinn for one day, I think the main thing is just to go to the old town, the medieval center of Tallinn, also a UNESCO Heritage Center, just to walk around a little bit. And as well, you are visiting Tallinn, and I presume some of you live in Tallinn. What is your favorite place in Tallinn, for instance?
Actually, like the flower shop that is here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I love it too. Oh, yeah. Here's the picture. Yes, it's at the Viru Gate, yes. Does anyone else want to share their favorite place in Tallinn?
Yeah, as a local, I would say Danish King's Garden. In Estonia, it's Taani Kuningaed. It's the perfect place for enjoying a sunset. Maybe have a little glass of wine or two. And yeah, actually has a great view. Unfortunately, can't see it on those pictures per se, but maybe it's somewhere downwards. I don't want to see winter anymore. We just survived one. Yeah, it's accessible at any time throughout the year. We are planning to do during the next Old Town Days, which are the 14th or 40th time this year, this summer. We are planning to have this little concert there, actually, silent disco and music composer to bring people there. So keep your eyes and ears peaked, because soon we will announce it. So yeah, this is it.
I think my favorite parts in Tallinn are the wooden house areas, like the like Kalamaja and Kopli and Kadriorg. I like architecture generally, and it's like it's so fun. You just like walk across, like a nice sunny weather. You just walk across the streets, turn like randomly to another street, and just like, I don't know, enjoy the view basically and the colors. And the apartments are so cozy. And like, you know, in the evenings, you're just passing through and you like look at the windows. Like, you know, you do that stuff, especially if there's a traffic jam and the apartments are so cozy and people like doing their like everyday business, spending nights. And yeah, and the Kadriorg area is like I think it's just I think so, yeah, we're walking wise, it's like, I think it's old area, and they had this sort of maybe like more wealthy looking houses. I really much enjoy these areas.
And that's all what we wanted to say about the houses and this beautiful park. We walked yesterday, and this walk to the beach that goes from this park. Yeah, it's beautiful. And this art museum palace and the presidential palace, it's really nice.
Thank you. So this is the picture of the castle that you were talking about. And it's also an art museum, so you can go inside. I would want you to show one more of my favorite places in Estonia. If anyone gets the chance, then please go there. It's Sõrve, and especially the lighthouse over there, because you feel, if you stand there, you can go pretty much in the water and you feel like you're only surrounded by the sea and you cannot see land. And it's really nice, but it's quite a walk. And now the lighthouse is opened and the view is also incredible.
Of course, I mean, cultural attractions. I think nature is a big cultural attraction in Estonia. There's so much of it. We're covered with forests. The population density is not high, so there are beautiful natural places left. And one of my favorite places to visit are bogs, and they are everywhere. You can find smaller ones, bigger ones, one without lakes. And usually they're quite well tended. Not on this photo. I'll try to find, there should be one that also shows the pathways. Yes, so they might usually have also a wooden pathway or some form of a place where to walk on, so you don't disturb the nature of the bog itself, because it's very delicate in essence. Anyone else want to share just a place you can just shout out?
I would like to recommend my home island, Kihnu. I was born there, and this is a very interesting place. It's said to be the last matriarchy. Is it correct term in Europe? So the women rule while the men are at sea. So it really has strong traditions. Its culture is very unique, and it's also UNESCO cultural heritage place.
Thank you. There is someone listening us on Zoom. Sergei, would you like to share some places? You can write in chat, or you can also open your microphone and we will hear you.
Hello.
Hi.
I was born in Estonia also, in Sillamäe is my hometown. And I think if you, yes, okay, you search already, thank you. A long story maybe is not useful for now, but if you write one more word, Sillamäe and Sirgala, no. I just need to say, if you put two words, Sillamäe like a town, if Northeast Estonia, and Sirgala, it's a forgotten parish, and Sirgala. Yeah. And just look for two places as a one complex. In the Soviet time, if I was young, we, with my friends, go to the Sirgala, to the discotheque. It was very strange from the town to the parish. And now the Sirgala place, I can say it's totally destroyed. And for many tourists from Tallinn, for Estonians, it's very interesting to see what will be happened if place will be abandoned. It's pretty similar to Rummu Karjär, and maybe it's other kind of tourism location, not only nice cities, Sillamäe with promenade or with Stalin style architecture, but also this Sirgala place, what is abandoned now. Maybe as a complex with Vivikonna also is the right place to. And if someone needs to see what is it at Northeast Estonia, not only towns or forest or sea, you will just go to the four places: Sillamäe, Sirgala, Vivikonna, and Narva, what is located on the Estonian-Russian border. It will be very good trip for all who visit Estonia. I strongly recommend it for my friends.
The urban exploring thing in the Baltics in general is very popular. It's like a part of tourism. It's just everything is really dreary, but people like, I myself, we went to this Latvian abandoned city. It's now like a military complex, but when there's no military rehearsals, then they let people just in. There's like old military buildings and the buildings for the personnel and their families, just like a huge apartment blocks. And it's now in the middle of the forest, basically, and there's no civilization for like tens of kilometers of radius. And I really like it. It's exciting. No, unfortunately, no. It's quite in the south of Latvia, I think, somewhere. But yeah, it's a military base, military rehearsals, and it was like it was a little unexpected. Was that we were there? We were just discovering around the houses. You sort of like wander around with friends, and all of a sudden there was like a bunch of shooting going around outside of the house, and we got really like what is this? And nobody really
let us know that it's gonna happen. Then there was like lots of smoke and the shooting everywhere, but they're not the real bullets. It's just they make lots of noise and you just try to get out of their way there. But yeah, it's good.
Thank you. So can anyone else share something similar or about Estonia or about their places that they haven't mentioned yet? Must visit places in Estonia. Yes. Perhaps museums that you have visited here or
We do have Kumu, National Arts Museum in Kadriorg, yep, which is an architecture masterpiece in my opinion. Of course, the events that are held there are pretty awesome as well from time to time. And I do recommend you, if you're into modern art, then visit the 4th or the 5th floor there. Usually they have exhibitions there for some time. Supposedly, or at least I heard, the last one was pretty awesome. I can't remember, of course, what was it about, but anyway, who knows what modern art is about anyway. So yeah, definitely recommend you visit this place. Of course, and we do have the free museum visiting days every first Sunday of every month. You can go pretty much everywhere, any museum in Tallinn, and then get in for free. The next one will be not on the first week of May, because on the 9th we do have a holiday, but it will be the week after. So if you have a time and the interest, then definitely I suggest you visit something of your own taste.
There's a free.
There is also every Wednesday, there's free documentary.
Ah.
It's shown at Como Art Museum at 6 o'clock. I just went to a few of them and it was really interesting. Every time new topic, new documentary. So if you want, just go.
And if you love documentaries, then the Tallinn Central Library Music and Film Hall has once a month on a Tuesday also Mondo documentary nights. So it also has a little discussion afterwards. So I do recommend that. And I think, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but if people love museums, Central Library will launch a pilot project where we will be where people can borrow museum tickets from libraries. So there will be in Kadriorg and Kalamaja libraries, and I think more information on them will come in May. And so keep an eye out of that. I know I won't be the first in line to let other people, but I will definitely look into that. I think museums are really worthwhile, especially if you love different kinds of art.
Yes, check out our website. The information will be there soon. Yes, so thank you very much for everyone for sharing these awesome places. We cannot wait to travel to Croatia and to Egypt and Azerbaijan.
And if you didn't make your holiday plans based on this event,
yeah, now is the time. And also, I haven't been to Rummu Karjäär myself, so I will definitely go there also.
And we have something in chat.
And Sergei has written something in
about the Sillamäe. There's also a museum in Sillamäe. So it used to be a closed city. So it is an interesting place to visit if you happen to go outside of Tallinn. Greatly recommended. And just follow the brown signs everywhere as you see on the road that will lead you to either a sacred forest or a castle or a mansion. And explore Estonia, explore Tallinn, and thank you everyone for attending.
Yes, thank you. And next time we will meet up in the beginning of June. So everyone look out also out for the information on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.